looking for. I mean, and there's a reason why I'm asking about words. I'll tell you in a second. Yeah. No.
Should I get the presentation?
No. All right. That's a done. Okay, the next two. So we've got Allah, Rabb, which is an attribute of Allah. Qawm, which means a people, a nation. The next is Ard. What's an Ard? Yeah, the earth. And then the fifth? Ayah. You're like, oh yeah, of course. What's an ayah? What's an ayah? Oh, very good. He said sign. He didn't say the B word. Yeah, that's important. And we'll talk about what ayah actually means. It's a technical term. It's a special type of sign that we'll get into. So the reason why I like this question is, I'm a linguist and when I do computational linguistics, one of the things that we can do is, let's say we take a text of some kind and we just say, okay, well, what's it about? I don't have time to read it all, but just go down the list. Top 5 things that it mentions. And those top 5 things that it mentions very often comes out to be, well, what is the author thinks is most important. So in this case, we can infer that these 5 things, Allah, Rabb, I don't like to say thing, but you know what I mean. These 5 entities, Allah, Rabb, Qawm, Ard, and Ayah, that these are topics that Allah wants us to know intimately. Okay? Think about this, the Quran is a revelation for mankind, for us to know our Lord. And these 5 things stand out. These are the 5 things that really capture what we would call maybe a semantic net, right? It's going to be like the whole composite, everything falls into this, okay? With me so far? Okay, it's not getting boring yet, I hope. Okay, so the things that the Quran seems to be mostly concerned with, people's signs in this observable world, pointing to his attributes that only Allah holds, okay? Not in this world, okay? I can say it again. It's concerned with people seeing signs in this observable world that point to his attributes, okay, which are not part of this world. The Creator is not in the creation, right? Agreed? Okay. Now, the context in which Qawm is most typically and almost entirely mentioned is actually usually negative. It's Allah is typically criticizing those who do not look at this world to see signs pointing to Allah. Do you know what that's called today? People who only look at the world for the sake of the world. Materialism. Yeah, that's materialism. Some would say naturalism. And it's not new, it's addressed in the Quran. And it's probably the oldest problem in the history of man. This is a very old debate around whether or not there's a metaphysical realm and does it have value, does it have meaning? So materialism as a ground truth for them is the world has no meaning. It just is what it is. It's a kind of godlessness. Okay, so when the word Qawm is used, I have a hard time reading this, that's small. Yeah, so when the word Qawm is used, the Quran is predominantly addressing past nations that were destroyed due to their rejection of divine guidance, and then people of disbelief or opposition to Allah's messengers, which today we're calling materialists and naturalists, which is encroaching on Islam or the Islamic world. This was Nursi's main goal, was to prevent this because of the allure of industrialized Europe and the successes that they were having, but at the expense of their own spirituality, of their own tawheed, their own like metaphysical ethic. All right. So what next word that we need to define? We know Allah, we know His lordship, we know Arab is this world, and Qawm is people. But now we need to talk about ayat. Okay. You said ayah means a sign. What kind of sign? Does anybody know?
Observable. Observable.
Okay.
Divine.
Somewhere in the middle of that.
Something that means
An ayah is something, is a sign that points to something you can't see. That's the definition of an ayah, right? You'll find it in all the classical lexicons, classical dictionaries. It's a type of alama, a type of sign, but it's a sign that points to something that you can't see, right? Which we can understand now why the word ayah is used so frequently in the Quran, because it's pointing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Quran uses this word ayah in like two different ways. Usually it's as most commonly we know it is in when it's talking about ayat in the Quran, right? But then also of the observable world, natural phenomena, historical events that are extraordinary. These are also ayat, and the Quran does not make a distinction